Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report for the 26th of June, and starting with the ASX200 here on the daily chart here. Okay, so as you know, we've been looking at this move up through here as wave 1 and 2 here in orange, minor degree, and then 5 waves here for wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then looking at this move here as wave 1 and back for wave 2, roughly to the 6500 area here, and then looking at wave 3, 4 and 5 and so on to the upside there. There is a good possibility that this wave 5 here can be in place, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here having a top in play here. This wouldn't match up with the European market as they still need to make new highs, so that's why I'm looking for this to be higher. But we just need to be mindful that it's possible that that wave 5 can be sitting there. So we really want to be short at the moment, and we'll look at the structure on the way down. We can expect it to come down to the 61.8% retracement level of this structure here. That's where we're looking. So it's roughly around the 65 area here, just a tad lower than that. So if the market obviously comes down here further, then we know that we've got this wave 5 top in play here. The other point here, as I mentioned before, this particular pattern at a level here would be looking at it in two ways. One is the classic trading levels pattern, which is the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level. So the picture that we use for that is this one here. So the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, the first high above the level, which we look in 5 waves here, and then we look for the corrective wave here, and then we look for support back up here. This would be the safe trade in this space here. Look for that high here. We can also get in down here as well. We just need to understand the structure, but this is generally the pattern that happens there. The variation on this pattern here is, well, I just call it the variation pattern. So it's the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and sometimes it just comes down and sits, has 3 waves all sort of scrunched up into this space here on the actual level, and doesn't drop below that. But it still doesn't bother us, because we would take this entry here, and then we can bring it down to this entry here. So it doesn't really affect us or the entry on anything, because we will buy new highs on a corrective move, and we also do that on the downward move as well, so which we'll have a look at today. So yeah, let's just go in and have a look at this. So all I know at this particular stage is that we should be coming down to the 65. Okay, beyond that I don't know. I need to gather more information. So on the 4-hour chart, so from wave 4 here, we've been working this structure to the upside here. I think we did fairly well with all of that. And we've got the turn okay in this, and also the US market. So yeah, this move to the downside here, this is our 50-60% retracement level. So we just need to see how it sits on this level here. Of course, there's going to be support at the 6.6 area here, these old highs here, maybe a little bit further down. Yeah, there's different ways to count this structure, but basically when we've got a wave 1 and 2 here, the thing is that wave A in a wave 2 should have 5 waves in it. Okay, the B wave will have 3 waves in it, and then we'll get a C wave here. So it should be a rather simple type of correction that we get here. And obviously this is what we'll look for over here. But it should be quite simple. It's not like a wave 4 where it gets complicated. It should be sharp, and pulling back into this level here. So let's just go in and have a little look at this. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but so I can see that we've got 5 waves in this first move here, and then we've got an A and a B and a C move here, and then we're coming down into wave 3 here. So we should see 5 waves in here in terms of 1 and 2 here, and coming down into wave 3 here, 4 and 5 here. So we still want to move down. We should be moving down into the 600 here. I do have to say that first of all, just remove this, makes it a little bit cleaner. Coming down into group 1 here, so from 600, 6,600, 10, 20 and 30, that's group 1. 50 is the midpoint, and then we've got group 2 here. So we can expect supports to come down into, well, all of this space here really. So group 1, 30, 20 and 10 will offer supports, and of course 600 will, and then we've got group 2 here. So these lows that I'm looking for here should be in around the group 2 area here. So we want to be looking in this space here for you know, for consolidation. So you don't really want to get sort of you just got to be careful what you do in this block here. Okay, so just be aware of that's where all the support's going to be. So you're either going to hold it through all of this block and get down to here, or you'll take profit in here. But be careful about sort of getting back in and out through all of this here, because you'll get chopped up, and you know, if you're you know, you can't just keep taking small losses. You know, you have to, on the flip side of that, you have to stay in the trend to make the money. So yeah, just on the tick chart here, if I've got this counted a bit differently, that's okay. Oh, I haven't updated it. I must have done. Oh, I did it on my other working chart, but I was looking at this as wave. We can just work with this for a second. So we've got wave 3 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be wave 3 and 4 coming in here. Wave 5 will come down through here. It's still a little bit short. To look at this as 1 and 2 here. So we've got 1 and 2 to here or to here, and 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave here. So I'm looking at this as wave 1 here. Don't need that for a while. I can't draw on this side here, but we should see wave 4 that can come back up and test the 665 area here, and then make its way lower here. Let's move on and have a look at the other markets. So let's have a look at India first here. So with India here, we'd been looking at a top forming here of wave 3. So that's proving correct every day, more and more. So the market can pull down to the wave 4 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level, the top of that box here. I'm not quite sure, but we'd be looking for an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave coming down here. So it's either going to come down to the top here, or it will pull down lower in this space here. It doesn't really matter when it comes down into this space here. We're not interested in shorting it so much. We'd be interested in once it becomes support back on top of the 11,500, then we'll look for the long trade to the upside there. But let's just go in and have a little look at this correction. So 4-hour chart's not telling us a great deal, but this pullback doesn't look like it, but it pulled back up to the 61.8% here. So that did all the right things here. We've got a little 5-wave structure down to this point, so an A and a B and a C back to its 61.8%. So we should be, so we should be looking to come down something like this here now. Let's just go to the hourly chart. So it looks a little bit like this here. So I'm looking at this here as the A wave here, B wave back up into this space. This wave 1 here actually goes in here, and this is an A and a B and a C wave here. I do need to confirm this now. I do need to see this market drop below this level here, the 11,720, which is the 61.8% retracement level from the low to the high here. And then we'll move down into this area through here. This is like a group 2 area here really, so 65, 72 and 80 here. On the tick chart here, just picking that up from wave 2 here. So I'm looking at it as an A wave, a B wave, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave of wave A here, an A and a B and a C for wave B. A little bit small, but it's okay. So this is where it sort of becomes sort of interesting now, because this would be the B wave, the A wave here. And I've taken this up. Yeah, look, in a nutshell, we need this line here, this what's the center of group 2 here. So if you're used to scalping, then you'll know what that means. So that as resistance would confirm that we're going to go lower at that point. It's also the 50-60% retracement level from here. So we do need to see it below this level to confirm the trend to the downside. At that point, if the 11.8 became the support, then you would need to be long from that point. Yeah, so that's that, and also Hong Kong as well. Just have a quick look at China. Okay, well, China's been triggered on the short side here, so but we weren't really trading that. That's okay, I'll just keep an eye on that. And Hong Kong. So with Hong Kong here, I don't really know the count as such, but there's some things I do know and some things that I don't know. So I'm just assuming at this point that we've got the A and the B and the C up here for the B wave, and this has moved down to the 61.8% of that move. It's moved back up to the 61.8% here, and it's likely to move to this little area here, the 27,500 area here, roughly speaking. That's the closest, largest number. There will be support at the 28,000, of course, but it is just quite simply bouncing at the 61.8% mark. So we can use that with a bit of reliability in that case, based on history there. So the move up through here, I don't really understand it because of this little move in through here. There's an extra little wave in here, so I don't particularly understand that, but we can have if I consider all this wave 1 here, then we can look at this as wave 1 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, perhaps up for wave 3, 4 and 5 here. So yeah, obviously there's going to be support, as I mentioned, at the 28,000 area here, but we can come low as this here. So in a bit of a nutshell, this market is working with this number here. This is where it's sort of at the moment. It came through, it came back up and tested, it dropped, didn't make a new low, and made. So this is going to become the balance point. And it's going to become, we're going to notice that more and more, and we'll be able to use that for setting up a trade in one way or the other. So currently at the moment, this move through here, let's go in and have a little look at that on the 1 hour chart. So I've just this is probably not correct, but it doesn't, it's the way that I just started labeling it. So we could look at this as the wave A here and the wave B here. And then within this little section here, you can see that we've got 5 waves. There's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I've got it labeled as wave 4, but it's probably wrong. As a wave 4 here, it would need to push straight up from here. But I would expect it to push up anyway. So after these little 5 waves here, this can come down a bit further here. I'll just put that down to here. Now, if it was going to go down, let's just get this roughly in here. Let's just take it off these levels here. That's the 38.2%. So in a nutshell, it could end up having 5 waves down of 1 and 2, and we look at this as the third wave here, fourth wave back to the 38.2% retracement level, and then wave 5 down here. So if we get 5 waves down here, then what's going to occur, of course, is that we're going to get a more bearish market at that point. So I'll just put that there. And that means that we would see an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up into, that's a 61.8. It's quite a nice 61.8% really, because it comes in at these lows here. So that will be the supply level. So if this occurs here, then we're going to get this ABC pattern here, and then we're going to get another 5 waves down here. And it will be this wave structure through here that will become the best short trade in this scenario. If we were going to go long, if this came down here as an A and a B and a C wave here, then the 38.2% retracement level is here. So the closest largest number in that case, if I can just remove that, is the top of group 1. So, and that's, well, 28,000. Then we've got 100, 200, and 300 here. Just get that. So if the market, not on this bounce here, of course, but on this bounce here, if this market found 28,300 as the support, then we can go long from that point. But it needs to become a tested support, just as I mentioned before with those classic trading level patterns. So hopefully you're short at the moment, where you can bring that down to break even. You could take part profit here, would still need to leave that. We don't want to get clipped out by this one here, so whatever that means to you, would need to keep it out of the way at that point. But yeah, if we get 5 waves here, I'll just put this here, take part profit. You could take part profit now, really. It's probably not such a bad idea. Just put it, I'll put it right there. So take part profit on the 28 here, because there'll be a bounce either way as 5 waves down, so that will be less time consuming. And then we can look to short on this side over here. Okay, that's the next logical step. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Cheers.